Legion is the best comic book show nobody's watching. It's a masterclass of how to make visuals and design just as important to the storytelling as is the dialogue. Any storyteller in a visual medium would do well to study this show. If you're looking for a superhero show where muscular men beat each other to a pulp or have some super laser to destroy an alien fleet, this isn't the show for you. If you're up for an acid trip where the viewer struggles, just like the main character, to separate fact from reality, you'll love Legion. Legion is based loosely on the character from the X-Men franchise, created by Chris Claremont and Bill Sienkiewicz in the 80s. It's the story of David Heller, the son of Charles Xavier, who is also a mutant with a wide range of powers. He also may or may not be insane. This show starts with David in a mental institution. He's there because he hears voices all the time and seemingly has violent outbursts. He gets along well with the other residents until one day a woman shows up and tells him the voices are real. He's not insane, but he's actually a telepath. Things devolve really quickly from there. Oh, did I mention the Shadow King has been mentally stalking David since he was a child, and he might be responsible for his present condition? Unlike most other superhero movies and shows, Legion has a huge focus on design, color, and movement. Although the show seems to be set in modern day, it has the aesthetics of the 1960s and early 70s. Most of the characters have clothes that really clue you in on their personality. The colors for the main characters are often vibrant, even trippy, until things get more serious. Then they take on a dour look. This clues the viewer in to the character's emotion. The show has no problem using crazy character design choices to keep the viewer off balance. From the various forms of the Shadow King, to hot young android women with giant mustaches. Yeah, seriously, that's a thing. To a good or maybe bad guy who has a Japanese-style basket on his head. All of these things subvert our own expectations of reality, making the audience sympathetic with David and his own mental struggles. If this were the average comic book show, we see the characters punching each other in some kind of mental space, or at a minimum, some kind of Green Lantern-like energy. Not in Legion, though. This show is willing to take a more abstract approach, often through the use of dance. In Season 2, we can see David the Shadow King and the Shadow King's minion having a dance-off as David tries to defeat them in a psionic battle. Music and motion play a pivotal role in Season 3 as well. A young woman, Switch, who is seeking out David, sees what she believes are cryptic messages directed at her on her way to school. She followed these into an area that may or may not be real in our world. She enters a door, and it seems as though the rest of the search is all in some mental space, where she needs to answer certain questions before she can find David. This culminates in a song and a dance number that allows her access to the full area and gets her to where she needs to be.
Salmon! Her name is Salmon.
You think I'm a psychopath, Democrat lurking in the dark. This sucks, I'm the Kmart soda jerk, so do trash. I kept the stash of coca candy straight from Japan. Hologram, and she was never as near. Think you know what I need to get by? Something for your mind.
The best example of visual design in motion standing in for bass speaking and writing is the finale to Season 1. David has been captured and is stuck in a mental prison. His friends have come to help him, but they're also stuck in mental warfare with the Shadow King. Everything is like a black and white silent movie. Jerky movements, title cards, harsh lighting, they all harken back to early German impressionistic movies like The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari and Nosferatu. The design features of these movies are where we currently get lighting and set and character design for horror, science fiction, many genres of movies. As you can see, a lot of TV shows, movies, comics, books with very poor writing. And in these writings, they'll tell you how you should feel, or they'll have the characters say exactly how they should feel. Like one character will say to another, "Oh, I'm sad." It's much more effective if you can illustrate to the audience how the characters feel, by their actions, by the way that they're dressed, by facial expressions. It's not always necessary to use words to get these feelings across. Any true writer will be able to recognize this and use this to make their project better. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, click subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell for notifications, and I'd love to hear what you think.